Pain and suffering, excessive amounts of pain.
What scares me the most is letting people down and just not having enough time to do what I want in my life.
Failing at my biggest goals.
The thing that scares me the most in life is probably dying, because I don't want to die. I want to party all my life. I want to like go and do something and get like really messed up and hang out with some people. Just live my life like that, go to college, party all day, party all night.
Loneliness. Oh, dying. It's not life. It's part of life. Dying's part of life. So that's scary.
Do y'all have any change you can help out?
Nothing.
Nah, man. I got 10. That's about it.
You want to say that?
Probably say dying in a car accident at a young age, because I'm really into racing. So.
Drugs and people. Because people can be like scary and stuff, and drugs are risky, and that's why I stay away from them. So.
I would have to say, this is a double-edged sword because I've thought about this quite a bit. It would have to be the human potential. Because we have the ability to create so much. For example, in the late 1930s and the 1940s, we had a group of scientists who sat in a lab. It was called the Manhattan Project, and that's when they sat in a lab and were like, what happens if we split an atom? Then they tested it, and before they tested, they thought they'd light the atmosphere on fire when they jetted the nuclear bomb. They didn't know what would happen, and then they did it. And there we go. We have the first weapon of mass destruction, something that can annihilate cities. Then Nagasaki and Hiroshima happened, and then we see the raw devastation. That scares me. But on the flip side of that coin, we have that potential to create with destruction, such as with that splitting the atom, we have power plants, stuff that can give energy to city blocks, to cities, and give them the life potential to continue onward. So it's a double-edged sword, the way, but humanity's potential and the constant weaponization of the creations and what we have, it terrifies me. Because in the hands of the right people, those who want to create, you're good. If you have it in those who are power-hungry or goal-centered towards domination, then that's terrifying to me. Because the Cold War followed after the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki when World War II ended. But we also created so much energy. So I would have to say the human potential is a terrifying aspect to me, but it's also an awe-inspiring thing.
Honestly, being alone and not having somebody to come home to when I'm old and I don't have a lot of friends or family.
Not very nice.
For real.
What scares me the most in life is waking up in 40 years and realizing I haven't made a difference in the world.
I would have to say leading a life that ends up not mattering or leading a loveless life scares me the most.
Spiders, because they bite you, you wake up and you get infections, boot rot. Living life that hardcore where it's like getting stuck in rain when you're soaking wet.
Oh gosh, that's a good question. I think being alone is something that scares me a lot, and making regret scares me a lot too. Making choices that I'm going to regret is probably the biggest fear.
Dying, not knowing if you get an afterlife. I mean, what happens after you die?